I am the shadow teacher. And Rudolf Steiner believed that there were beings in this world that resembled humans, but were in fact simply husks, soulless vessels, masquerading as humans that were simply conduits of information from something else. They were devoid of a divine spark, a soul. And modern day terminology, we would call them NPCs. And the question is, are NPCs, or people who we believe are people but are actually NPCs, is that a permanent state? Are they always that way? Do they fool us because these people have histories? They have a past. And we may have known people who seem to be acting out the program of the NPC, but yet we knew them as human at one time. And I believe the movie series The Matrix gives us some clues on this. When we see in the Matrix, in that program, you can see an agent just occupy anything resembling a human and then take over its form and go after the threat. Again, the threat being in the movie The Matrix are human beings who have a soul, who are actually organic beings. And in the second Matrix movie, it's taken a step further, where Agent Smith gains the ability, he transcends his programming and gets the power of taking a human and entering the body of a human that is leaving the Matrix and going back into the human world. So we see the NPC, again, the programs, the simulations, and then we also see that a program can enter a once human vessel and compromise it. And this is what I've come to believe. People who I knew in my life, who I know have a soul, who I know at one time had a soul, and I see them acting out the programs, this NPC meme, I support the current thing. And so many people who I know once had a soul, once had a spark of creativity and originality in them, just simply go about their lives this way now. And what I found I had to do is I've had to keep them at somewhat of a distance. And some would say that calling people NPCs is dehumanizing, but I think it's actually the opposite. The program of the NPC, part of the intention of that is to overwhelm a human soul and compromise it. And part of it does this by sheer numbers, like a virus taking over a program and then just compromising a system by sheer numbers. And I'm able, again, I can hold space for people. I always believe that there might be some humanity left in them, and I always see what I can do to try to tap into that human spark. I'm always searching, sometimes successfully, but a lot of times not. A lot of times I find the programming, the NPC programming sent by the master program that wants to make all human programs this copy of a copy of a copy. Just see that programming is too strong at times. And what I've had to do again is create the boundary and be aware again of my own weaknesses, my own potential to be compromised. And it is not in my intention, it's not my highest dreams to simply live out the program of an NPC, but yet there's something out there that wants to do that. But if we take a broader perspective, maybe this is our work. Maybe these NPCs and these mindless programs serve a purpose. They remind us of what we are not and the importance of doing our work, the importance for finding our practices to connect with Source, to connect with that divine spark and what it wants to do in us and through us, and how it wants to show up in us. So, I'm going to end this video. I know this has been somewhat of a convoluted path I've taken you on today. But if you're watching my channel, you most likely are not an NPC. Maybe you fucking are. Maybe there's a few bots that show up here from time to time to check in on me to make sure I'm not breaking the rules of the Matrix and saying something that's going to wake people up too profoundly, too quickly. They got to keep the eye on the shadow teacher. But I figure most of you are not NPCs. You're people who value your soul, your genuine spirit, awakening to the truth of who you are. So to you, be strong, be well, and I'll see you on the other side.